odds of gridlock coming in next Gears of War? 60% chance?
Probably 100.
You know what, Spoon? I agree with you.
100. Everybody likes it. Everybody.
If they do make a gridlock, it better be graphically awesome.
Graphically awesome. I like that. I like that. Graphically awesome. Hey, I'm gonna put that as a title on one of my videos, Loon. Thank you. Graphically awesome.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Don Drysdale channel, and I bet you don't have to guess what the name of this video is. If you do, you need to rewind it to about a minute ago. Well, probably 30-45 seconds. Well, just got off the Twitch channel with Rod Fergusson. In case you didn't know, or you've been living in a hole, or you really don't give a shit, then this video probably this is going to be news for you. But he is one of the head guys over at Black Tusk, and he's developing the next Gears of War. And just for the record, I think they're going to reboot the whole thing. Don't hate me, but I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's the only way that they get where they need to go, and that's to make this into a big cash cow, is what I think their goals are. But enough of that. I'm here to talk about Rod and his... here to talk about Rod, that's pretty funny. Here to talk about his Twitch. He didn't go over anything groundbreaking or anything like that, but he did mention a couple of interesting points. Excuse me, still a little bit sick. Had the flu or some shit like that. But anyways, back to old Mr. Fergusson. He mentioned a couple of things. He answered a whole bunch of questions, none of them really in depth. He didn't mention anything about the direction they're going, or down but not out, or the locust coming back. Nothing that would raise too many eyebrows on that. I think that they are going to do something at E3. I really do, because they got to do something. Microsoft seems to be punching some buttons right now, reducing the price of their Xbox One. In case you didn't know, a lot of your Netflix and a couple of your other Twitch TVs and stuff like that, you don't had to have an Xbox Live membership to view now, from what I hear. Don't quote me on that, but a couple people have told me that, so check it out for yourself in case you want to know. But back to Mr. Rob. He's talking about the Gallus forums first. He said he has 1,700 members, 4,500 threads, and I think a little over 700 actual posts. I guess that means not posts, but topics. As I was viewing it, it had 1,227 viewers, 3,500 total viewers, which means that at one point they had a total of 3,500 people watching it, which means they didn't watch the whole fucking thing. It had right around 323 likes there, so in case you want to follow Rod on his Twitter feed, it's Gears Viking is what his Twitter account is, so you can follow him there if you want to. They just got through hiring a new community manager, which is basically a big PR guy, is what it is. They went right into the questions after that. Are they going to start supporting games? And he said yes, but he didn't say anything about fixing games. He only talked about supporting the games, which he alluded to the special events and shit like that. He said they're going to start out on 1 month intervals, and they go down to 2 week intervals on changing the game, and then get back to the way Epic had it at 1 week intervals. He talked about the polls and stuff like that, about hearing our feedback. But again, he's not allowed to discuss anything deeply seated on what's happening with Gears. But he just said, basically, we hear you about nade plants, the sawed-off shotgun, the retro, all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that annoys the major Gears players that the new guys are able to get away with in Gears. And that's all he said. He said, we hear you, we see the polls, we've been taking polls, maps we like, the spacing we like. He went over all that stuff. We hear you on the polls. I don't know how I could say that any plainer. They asked. They took one of the polls of the favorite game types for each of the Gears installments. Gal 1 was Execution. It was number 1 in the poll. Gal 2, he was really shocked about this. He said that Guardian was the number 1 pick for Gal 2. He said that thing was full of problems. Gal 3, it was a tie between TDM and Execution. Now, you got to remember, Execution is driven by the guys that are probably on this forum a whole lot, which is your real competitive players. So, TDM's more popular, but just more people are on these polls at that website that play Execution for with their clans and shit. Judgment, I don't know if you give a shit, but Overrun was the most popular, followed shortly by Free For All. Big shocker there. It's the only game type I liked was Overrun. He also talked about updating Gears 3 and Judgment, and basically he said no. He said for every moment that we take away from Gears 4 or whatever the hell you want to call it, Lazarus or whatever, that it detracts from Gears of War 4. So he basically said no in a real nice way, that they're not going to fix anything that they don't have to, absolutely have to fix, other than the game freaking crashing or some shit like that. They asked him what his driving force on multiplayer, why does he like multiplayer? And his answer was kind of right on what I wanted to hear, was the intensity, the heart pounding, stuff like that. He alluded to Black Ops and Call of Duty, where you have 10 or 15 other players on your team, but it's not a team game. Not to say it can't be a team game, but it's hard to get 11 of your buddies to play on that at once. You're kind of in it for yourself, but the loss of a person in Gears is a lot more substantial than a loss of a person getting killed in Call of Duty or Black Ops. He said a responsibility to the team. He said that a couple times, and I kind of agree with him there. I got to agree with him a little bit there. And then he went into the fun questions. And they asked him what his favorite boss battle was. And he said the Berserker. And he was mainly talking about the Berserker from Gears 1, I think. You know, when you had Dom and you had Marcus and they were in the tomb and revving your chainsaws directed where the Berserker went, and then fighting them in the garden, and then hammer Don through the wall and stuff like that. That's basically what he talked about there. They also asked him what his favorite Easter egg was. In Gal 2 was the cowboy hats. If you didn't know, if you played on Insane and you're on Big Reed Dizzy's platform and you shoot all the cowboy hats, then the corpser pops up with a big cowboy hat and yells "Yeehaw!" In case you didn't know. And on Gal 3, it was the flaming chicken. The flaming chicken was his favorite one, where Marcus yells down each one of the the pipes on the ship, and then the little chicken comes out, and you shoot the little chicken, and then you shoot the big chicken, and the big chicken spits fire at you and tries to kill you. But what I got out of this is he seemed genuinely interested, if that makes any sense. And if you want to, I'm sure they're going to repost it and play it. I hope you got a lot of info. It's kind of a consolidated deal. Enjoyed the background gameplay, and thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, rate the video, send me a comment on it. I love you guys' feedbacks, and y'all's putting the comments down in the bottom. I actually do read them, the very few that I get, but I will respond to all of y'all until I get popular, and then I won't care. Just kidding. Like, subscribe, see you later.